so eager to say hello to everybody.
Hello.
This is the one I told y'all was trying to take my job the last time when he was here. But he is here in the studio with me. Tonight, we're going to be doing the show open house style. So whoever comes through and shows their support, we're going to roll with that. We do have a couple of people here. I want to shout out Mecca from the Happy Hour show is here. I'm so grateful. So I'm giving her a shout out. Thank you so much for being here. My good girlfriend, Latoya, is here in the building.
Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BigExposedRadio.com this Friday, August the 12th. Time is definitely moving on. We have an awesome show for you guys today. We have Miss... Oh, shoot. I think oh, shoot. We have an awesome guest today. She should be here shortly, but I'll jump right into some hot topics, actually more announcements than hot topics, and then Amma will be joining us. So don't forget, on August the 20th from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Big Exposed Radio Studio, we will be having our monthly open house, which is open to the public. If you are a business or artist, entrepreneur, community leader, come on out. Especially if you need some help with your marketing and branding, if you need some creative options as far as marketing and branding and promoting and advertising your business, come on out. Let Be Exposed handle that for you. You can meet all the awesome artists that we have here in the form of our personalities. Our hosts of each one of our shows will all be in attendance, so you can definitely come on out, meet us, meet our past guests, our potential guests, other community leaders, artists, entrepreneurs that you can also network with. We always have a good time here. Some refreshments, some awesome music, and definitely our company and networking that you will be able to partake in. Again, I am Nate, host of the Artist Exchange Radio Show, and I organize a monthly open house just for us to be able to meet and network and engage with each other in a form, in a space where we can be benefit partnerships, develop those type of relationships with individuals, so your work can then gain more momentum and grow and expand and all those awesome things. So that's August the 20th from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. That's a Saturday here at 110 East Lexington Street at the Be Exposed Radio's studio. Also, our 10-year kickoff will be happening August the 26th. That's a Friday during this time from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. down at the Power Plant Live. We will be stationed at Howl at the Moon, the piano bar. So definitely come on out. Happy hour starts at 6 p.m. All you need to bring is your ID or your license at the red canopy at the front gate. Show them your ID, tell them that you're there with Be Exposed, get your wristband, and you can slide right on in. No waiting in lines or anything. So definitely come on in. Come on out. That's the 10-year kickoff for BeExposedRadio.com. We are celebrating our 10th year here. Monny has definitely given us a lot to be able to work with, and this studio is definitely popping and it's hot. So definitely come on out, celebrate with us. If you have been a guest or a fan, or you want to be a fan, you want to be a listener, you want to be a host, whatever it may be, come on out, join us at Howl at the Moon at the Power Plant Live, Friday, August the 26th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. We'll probably be there a little bit after, but the happy hour specials end at 10 p.m. You'll get a wristband for Howl at the Moon. You can be able to get into all all the venues for free that night if you get your wristband. And they have lots of drink specials, so on and so forth. We have a couple giveaways, surprises for those who come out. So definitely hit us up. We have constantly we're having new shows come on the air. So if you have a show, definitely come on out to either our open house, or you can contact us via email at info at beexposedradio.com, or you can give us a call at 410-671-5483. Give us a call and we'll definitely be able to help you set up a show, bring over an already existing show, or create a platform for an idea that you may have, and get your team together, get your content together, your marketing promotional strategies together, and help you launch your show on beexposedradio.com. It sounds like a great idea. Well, it is a great idea. We have two shows. One actually comes after this. They're doing their third show. It is what it is with Mr. Tyree Miles, author, community leader, and mentor. His show comes on after the Artist Exchange from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. He just started a couple weeks ago. And this Tuesday, the 16th, we have the Denasha Harrison radio show on beexposedradio.com. His show will come on every Tuesday and every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. starting August the 16th. An awesome young man. I met him and his co-host Jared, two phenomenal young men who have given their time and their energy in the form of being in the service. Jared is I want to say he was in the Navy, and Denasha was in the Marines. So definitely two veterans who have come together to create an awesome internationally platform of hot topics, community news, so on and so forth. Awesome show. They already have their first show lined up, a great, phenomenal show. So tune in this Tuesday coming up the 16th at 10 a.m. for the Denasha Harrison radio show. Awesome. You don't want to miss that. Also, for the last couple of months, we have been interviewing individuals both from Baltimore Fashion Week, which opened up tonight, and that runs tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday down at the War Memorial. So hit up Fashion Week, Baltimore Fashion Week on Facebook, and you'll get all the information. I believe you have to buy tickets in advance, no tickets at the door. Also, in conjunction with that, we have been interviewing a lot of artists in the form of authors that have been coming across the studio. And we will be live broadcasting from the African American Authors Expo on Morgan State University's campus on October the 15th. We'll have all the information, all the details about that coming to you shortly. But we've had a lot of authors come through here, some phenomenal books. I've been reading more books than I've ever read in my life in the last 2 months. So I'm definitely happy with that. And we have a couple more authors coming through in the next month or so on all the various shows. So definitely stay tuned for that on the Artist Exchange and all of our various shows. If you take a look at our website, www.beexposedradio.com, you'll see a whole listing of all of our show lineups, including the Artist Exchange. I say the best online radio show known to man. I'll just say that because I don't care about anybody else's. But with that being said, we want you to call in, tune in, continue to support us. So I say thank you for all your support and your encouragement that you've given us thus far, because within less than a month, the Artist Exchange will be turning 2 years old. Yes, I'm very excited about that, but I've been told that 2 is the terrible time where you act out the most and you show your tail the most, because that's what I'm going to do in the next year. I am showing my tail because I can do that because I'm 2 now. So I definitely love to happen. I don't know if we're going to do something like I did last year. I may do the same thing and just do a little opening of some sort. I don't know, but I just may. I don't know yet. Because I actually started the last week of August. I started but I didn't do my first official show until the 5th of September. But with that being said, I'm very excited. I'm very excited for Be Exposed Radio. 10 years.
Are you going to be at our celebration?
I know.
26th.
Exactly. Howl at the moon.
I will be there.
Exactly. So today, our conversation is building of an artist. Artist life. Hashtag artist life. We'll have an awesome young lady, Miss. Her name just jumped out of my head.
You ain't write it down?
I didn't write it down. That's the crazy part, but it jumped out of my head. But also today we will be debuting Mr. Darrell Browns. He was an awesome young man who came on the show. He has an album that's coming out. You can go to www.darrellbrownministries.com and hear his new song, Because You Are Worthy. And we'll be playing that in the second segment today. Any announcements, Alma?
Besides the show that I'm in at Arena Players.
You in a show in Arena Players?
I am.
I didn't know that.
I'm doing radio golf.
Wow. Are you playing the wife?
Recommended. I am. I
am.
You know, it's my first.
That's the only woman that's in the play.
Yeah, she's the only one, and she's there 3 times. It's cool though. I'm excited.
David Mitchell.
Mm-hmm. It's my first August Wilson.
See?
I'm very excited.
I think I need to be a talent agent. I think that's what I need to be. I really do.
You and I can start a talent agency. I have wanted to do that since I was 16 because I know I can pick out a good.
Thankfully to the artists, so thankful to the Artist Exchange because it has allowed me this platform for people to be able to contact me when they're looking for other artists.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're an artist and you're looking for work, send me your information because individuals who are looking for talent, I also want you to contact me because I love being that bridge. I love finding people work because I want to find work,
right?
But I need to find a job within that. So I want to be able to be that connection for everybody. So David Mitchell will be directing radio golf at Arena Player. So definitely hit that up.
In October.
I'm the only female in that cast. And this was the last official play that August Wilson wrote before he passed away. I don't believe this is his final. It may be like another edition somewhere else. I just always felt like he wasn't ready for this to go out, but it's an awesome play. It's if you followed most of August he has a couple plays. I think he has a one-man show that's not a part of the series, but all his plays take part from their period 1910 on up to the present
for a decade. He tries
August
to cover
Wilson
a decade.
is supposed to be the 2000. I said August Wilson. Radio golf is supposed to be
90s.
That was the 90s. I thought it was more 2000.
92.
Okay, so that's the last in the series of his plays. Unfortunately, he passed away maybe like 8-9 years ago now. So that was a big deal. Center Stage actually premiered his show Radio Golf after he passed away. They were the first person to do one of his pieces. Theater companies, theater houses to do his piece. And it was phenomenal.
Nice.
What's the guy from Rock? His actual name is Rock. I can't remember his name. The one who
Charles Dutton.
No, not Charles Dutton. The one that played his brother. Actually was the lead in this play. He played in it when they did it at Center Stage. I remember seeing it. It was a phenomenal piece. That's awesome. Okay, Miss Radio Gov and Arena. This is your first Arena Player show? Wow.
No, it's not my first Arena Player show.
Okay.
This is number 2 or 3, but it's my first August Wilson. I've always done monologues. I've never actually done a whole play, so I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited. Okay.
Her first official full length, because this is his plays are wordy and they long.
They are
and
very wordy. I was talking to someone else when you are doing August Wilson, and there are a handful of writers that require you to remember the words because what they wrote is so powerful. Shakespeare is another one you have to know
in his lines.
The words, right? You
There's
can't
no
change them. You
his
can't
lines.
paraphrase or substitute. So it's I got memorization to do. So I'm supposed to be off book next week.
Oh, David is a special director.
He's
Not.
Well, I only have 3
Hammer.
scenes, so me being off book, no big deal. Now, Daniel Carter, who's playing Harmon, who's on every single page.
So we're gonna go to break on that note. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. Don't go anywhere. We right back.
Check out this flashback on the happy hour.
One of the questions I definitely wanted to ask you is, because you know everyone knows that mother, father, sister, brother, cousin that knows how to do taxes. Usually that's that person, me. Like, so no. I'm joking.
But seriously.
Right.
But seriously.
And they end up going to these people, getting their taxes done for like maybe $20, $50, I mean, a dime bag, you know, whatever. And then the next year they realize they owe like $10,000-$15,000. Can you break us down the do's and don'ts when it comes to taxes?
Well, let me say this first. You got to remember, like Mama used to say, you're going to get what you paid for.
Yeah.
Okay. The do's and the don'ts. Seek out information. Just don't say, oh, okay, well, you know, because I've seen professional tax preparers get people all this money back, and IRS lock her up, lock them up,
like Pookie and Craig.
And I'm talking about police department, fire department, all of them. And then they had to come to me to fix it. You know what I'm saying? So the do's and the don'ts of it, if you have a dependent, make sure that you can claim that dependent.
Got it.
Even if the dependent is your mother, if it's a parent, it's
mama.
A brother.
Cece, you listening?
Right.
Okay.
If it's your brother, your sister, remember, you know, a lot, you know, the rules are that they have to be like say if it's your brother, they have to be disabled. Even if you have a disabled child, they have to be disabled.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you the sole caretaker of your mother, brother, father, you may not get earned income credit for it, but you still get the exemption for it. Everybody's looking to get earned income credit. If you make $100,000 a year, you are not getting earned income credit.
No matter how many kids you got.
No matter how, I don't care if you had 20.
What's usually
you're not getting earned
the
income credit
cutoff for that? Like,
I'm sorry, say it again.
Is there a certain amount of money? Like, what's the cutoff?
I think
usually?
this year the cutoff for it is 45 for 2 kids.
Okay.
45,000.
45,000 for like 2 kids. I think it's 45,000 for 2 or 3 kids.
Okay.
Or something like that. I think it is this year. Every year it changes.
Okay.
And it goes down. You know what I'm saying? It goes down to like maybe like $60, $70. Now, if you are a single person,
yes, let's hear this,
with no dependents, and you're over 25, you can also get earned income credit, but you had to make under $15,000.
Oh, child.
Where do they do that?
If you make under $15,000, you'll automatically get.
Well,
Be pumping gas or bagging groceries.
Well, you know that's not true. I mean.
For this and more, be sure to tune in to Be Exposed Radio to catch what you miss on the happy hour every Thursday from 7 o'clock p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. right here on Be Exposed Radio.
Thinking about getting your GED diploma? Well, here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a number of pep talks that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You know that feeling? People look at you and don't believe in you.
You want some gentle encouragement. Then you're on your way to your GED diploma and a better life.
But I know they're probably just a little bit nervous. You can find it in yourself to take that first step.
You can improve your future. You can do this. I know you can. You need to start pushing yourself.
Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life.
Hurry up. Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need to get your GED diploma, we've got a pep talk that's right for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and find free GED classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education, brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics, chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. No, so we have a song being played right now.
The Bible says, clap your hands, all you.
Of DarrellBrownMinistries.com. He has a new song coming out, and this segment is dedicated to independent artists that want their music played. You send me your music either at the Artist Exchange Radio Show at gmail.com or at info@beexposedradio.com, and we'll definitely take a listen to your work. I don't really edit or filter the music that we play, but I'm not bitch hole slap a bitch. That's not what I listen to. So because I created the Artist Exchange, it will be what I choose to listen to. So with that being said, I am open to all genres, all types of music. And if your music doesn't fit our platform, I have plenty of other shows that your music would fit that platform. So with that being said, definitely do your thing. And I'm here for you. So send out your music to either the Artist Exchange Radio Show or the info@beexposedradio.com.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show at Gmail.
Can you see at gmail.com? See if he found the music for me. You found it? So you can play it now. It is Mr. Darrell Brown. His song is called Because You Are Worthy. He's a Christian pop artist. So we'll be playing that right now. Copy.
Oh God, you're holy and greatly to be praised.
You alone.
Check out this flashback on Gangsta Goddess radio show.
Are you going to read the text?
Yes.
Yes, I'm excited. So tell me who it's from and let's talk about it.
All right, so one of them only has a name on it. So Crystal in Baltimore says, if he has a side chick, then I want a side dude. Hell, we could all double date. Let's share these crabs.
No, don't share the crabs. Oh. Crystal from B-More, you are out of control.
I thought she meant like for the food crabs. And then I thought about it and I was like, oh no.
I'm sorry to hear that.
She mean that other crab.
I'm sorry to hear that. But that's okay. That's why you're here, to learn from the Gangsta Goddess.
Right.
So no, it is crabs, because what? you get diseases. It is 2016.
And not just transmitted, sexual transmitted ones. You get mental diseases.
Say that. Oh my goodness.
That dumb in love thing. I'm not saying at least herpes got a.
You might be able to take some Valtrex, and the commercial make it look fun, don't it? You take this Valtrex, you will be up a mountain somewhere, letting the breeze blow through your hair. But no, it is real.
It's real.
So not only, and that's a thank you, Crystal, because that's a whole nother aspect. I'm gonna catch something. Because again, you're no longer being careful. You have allowed this person, this woman. So now we all mixing juices.
And to the side chick, if you think you the only one, because there's a song a long time ago.
What's the song?
My grandmother used to listen to these old songs. Your cheating husband, I'm cheating on you, is cheating on both of us. And that's a lyric in the song.
I remember that song. I do.
Your cheating husband is cheating on the both of us.
So what we gonna do about it? So it is real. It is. So how do you keep your sanity? And now we got to add, how do you keep your safety? Because you're not going to bring this, what I have called mixing juices. I don't want to mix juices with anybody else. And then we get into the spiritual side of it, because I firmly believe that people come with spirits. And when you enter me after being mixed with this spirit, it can throw me completely off.
In many ways.
So I am dealing, and I can preach on it because I have lived it and I have walked through it. And something has to click where that self-preservation turns on. And no, I will not be this person to just stand by.
For this and more, be sure to tune in to Gangsta Goddess Radio Show every Tuesday from 7
Only in the forest can you see this. And this. And this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
I didn't know it could do that!
Because one trip to the forest can spark a world of difference.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go, like hiking, canoeing, fishing, or camping. Or create your own adventure with family and friends, and you might just see this. Your moment's out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Okay, so just type the job website address here. That's it. Then you enter what job you're looking for there.
Electrician. This is Peter. Recently, he got help going on the internet for the first time to look for a new job.
Okay, then you just hit search and...
In the past, Peter's gotten work through people he knew, but he heard there were more jobs online.
There we go.
These are all for me?
Uh-huh.
Really? He had no idea just how many. I can't believe it. This one looks good. Peter's thinking the internet might be for him after all.
And this is just one website.
Wow. Why didn't I do this sooner? See what the internet can help you do at everyoneon.org or call 1-855-387-9166 to find a free training class.
I got drunk one night. This is the night that I put my head through the window and everything. So.
Why would you do that?
Now, I was sitting on the floor.
All these stories always involve alcohol.
They do. I was sitting on the floor.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
That's one of the top 10 places that they say you should go as an artist. Which takes us into our conversation for today.
Guess where I found the top places?
Go ahead.
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Oh,
Baltimore.
I thought about moving to Denver, and I was researching the best places for artists to be.
Baltimore,
And
absolutely.
it's at Baltimore.
Absolutely.
And after our Slamageddon poetry team just won the nationals for poetry.
Mr. Black Chakra.
Black Chakra, my friend.
He won the ultimate
He did.
award.
Congratulations.
He's part of the year, right?
He is.
Yes. Black Chakra. Shout out to him. That I actually just saw that. I was tagged in that picture. Actually,
He's an amazing poet and soul and
Just a
artist.
person.
He's a real person.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. I am joined by myself, Nate, of course, my co-host, Big Mama Ama, and our guest for today. I actually get to interview her. I wasn't here the last time. Miss Coffee D'Ambrosi.
Hello.
That's it, right?
Be exposed. You too beautiful.
I did. That's where I got ambrosia from, because it's ambrosi.
It is. It's ambrosia without the A on the end.
Oh, okay.
So I am like.
But that's the Italian.
I am like nectar. Yes. That's what it means.
She
am
has
like
such a
nectar.
quiet fire voice.
It's the
quiet storm.
Fire.
It is.
Right.
Very
Ambrosi.
pleasant.
Oh, is that a different program? The Quiet
No, it's
Fire.
the same thing. It's still, it's after. It's dark outside.
Right.
So today's
So you and I
show
can
is
talk,
about.
right? You can come join my show. My show's definitely gonna be after dark.
Is it? I don't
It's
know.
about building of an artist's life. And I came up with these questions that I had because let me give a little bit of backstory on Miss Coffee. She is a emerging creative consultant. Because I don't want to put you in a box and say life coach.
I'm a
that's
circle. I once had a fight on the Upper East Side where the person said, "You don't fit in my box," and I said, "That's because I'm a circle." So I don't really fit into a box.
Yeah.
So she consults with a lot of artists in helping them to reconfigure, like a therapist or a life coach would, reconfigure, like, not as, but like, and just reconfigure your strategy.
Right.
Not really who you are, not really your artistry,
Not
but
your brand.
really just your strategy
I'm
and
a
how you do what you
tweaker.
do. Exactly.
I tweak because the people I'm working with all are already on their business. They're already doing the work. They already understand social media, the significance. They already have a voice, they have a message, and they have a brand.
They just so happen to be hitting some walls and glass ceilings.
I just say, hey, step to the left.
Just watch that boulder.
Yes,
watch out for that
duck, weave, tuck and roll.
There we go. She's a coach. I would call you a coach.
Okay, first time, but I will take it. I'm
Not a
gonna
life
take it.
coach, but just a coach.
I'm a coach.
A creative coach.
I'm a cheerleader.
There we go. And she definitely does support a lot of artists and artist adjacent individuals in the city.
Creatives, I call them. And that's how I dress them. I say, hello, my good morning, my creatives.
Her voice is so settling.
Good
It's
morning,
just
my
so...
I do. I have we have a thing. One of my friends / clients, Marissa Stone Bass of the Living Well, she initiated her own package deal. We call it the Power Hour. So sometimes our Power Hour is more than an hour.
It happens.
It happens.
Ours was like
Sometimes
2-3 hours.
Ours 3 hours.
My butt was sweating when we got up from the seat.
And what I do is I'm not going to give you 20 things to do. It's not a diet. It's not stringent. What I do is I give 3 things to add to your life that will help support what you're doing, your business, your ideas, brainstorming. And so that I feel I'm trying to find my niche also, because I'm not a full-on life coach.
Right.
The person that stays with you, goes through with you day after day, week after week, year after year. I'm like a hot shot. I'm like a hot shot.
Jumper cable.
I'm like a jumper cable. I give you the buzz, you roll with it.
Because everything gets started with jumper cables.
I like to start it off. I'm an excellent
I want
starter.
10% if you use that, because that was, I was like, I just got that from what's his name, Plies,
Monetize
but he
it.
meant it in a totally different way.
No, I feel that's what I am. I remember looking at a report card of when I was younger, and it said she's an excellent starter, but she never finishes anything. And so that things like that and labels like that can weigh on you. But when you turn it around and it's a positive thing, I am a starter. I will get you started. I will get you excited. I will give you a little bit of my quiet fire and help you, maintain the fire. And so what
You should do like a massage with it, because I think the information that you partake.
That's a different website.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you do this with a massage, like, I think the information would seep into your brain and not just sit on the surface.
That's a whole different show. It's After 9 show. I think
It's
that's
the After Dark. Why are we
It's the
starting
After Dark. We can't After Dark.
I mean, sometimes some of us got here before the dark. I was here earlier in the morning, so some of us, you know what I'm saying. But today's show is in line with who Miss Coffee is and what she wants to help artists with. And a lot of what I said before, a lot of what goes on with me, I infuse in what we do here on the Artist Exchange, because this has not been an easy road for me, because this isn't who I was supposed to be. And in terms of what people thought I should be, and that I'll say it that way. And I know there are a lot of elements that make an individual, mine is being a creative or an artist or a plumber, whoever. There's a lot of things that make that person, but some of us are missing those things. And as we grow, we go more into the direction of where we're supposed to be in life.
Right.
But sometimes the hurdles in getting there are due in part to the things that we are missing in our foundation. So what I try to do here, sprinkle in a little bit of self-help, a little, wisdom, and helping us strengthen, because I myself am working on that journey, because I do speak to Miss Coffee from time to time, and also Miss Gangsta Goddess, Tracy Jiggett, and we both are on a journey, on a journey to getting better and moving and growing, and we acknowledge the things that we have done and are doing wrong, and trying to take those wrongs and mush them together and just, create something beautiful out of them, because those things gave us the strength to be where we are today. So what I did was, in my research, I just created a couple of lists, a list of things that help us to build as an artist, in this artist life that we're leading. In this segment, we're going to deal with validation and the building of a team. So that's two different things, but how others see me, how does that reflect on who I am as an artist? And we're going to speak in terms of artistry, but it could be in any field of study. But more specifically, how does validation play a part in me being an artist or not? So that's my first question to you.
Well, I think the issue of validation, number one, if it's a priority and you're not validated, you can be completely crushed. I think I've experienced it in myself. I've been at my own studio having an event. Someone that I've known for 20 years comes to my studio for the event and says, whose photos are on the wall? And I'm like, and you should take my daughter's picture. I've been trying to take your daughter's picture for 20 years, and you're in my studio with my art on my wall.
Right.
So those little things can crush you.
Can we go to the movies Friday at 7? No, because I have a show for the last 2 years.
Exactly.
I get you.
And then
you get that cringing feeling in your stomach when that happens?
It can. I think one of the things that I tell people who are creatives is the first thing that you should really do is acknowledge that you're an artist. And so I have a friend, he's full-time photographer, but doesn't feel like he's an artist. He said, you're an artist. So I was at the Walters Art Museum having a pop-up art show, and he was taking my picture, but did not feel that he had accomplished as much as me. And I said, you're working full-time as a photographer. You have been since we first met. and you were asking me questions about photography. And so you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. We're just in different legs of our journey, but he never made the transition into I am an artist. Everything else I do, whether it's my corporate job or a corporate gig or side business, that's the side work.
So do you think he jumped into it thinking I have to make money at this, and that's what prevented him from ever crossing the line and being an artist in that field?
I think for some in the visual arts, having an art show and being recognized like that separates them. So they can be an amazing professional photographer, be getting gigs, but they've never had an art show.
Right.
So they're looking for different types of validation. What I always say is you have to start with yourself. And number one, acknowledge you are a creative. We're all creatives. A lot of people are able to express it in a better way. For me, I long to be, sometimes I don't like to be talented in different areas. Like you need an event, I can do that. 500 people, no problem. You want me to be the nanny to your children with special needs? I would love to do that, participate, growing a child, working with them. There's a lot of things I can do. What I love is the artist who can do pointillism, who has one craft and that is all they do. So for me, that's a validation that I long for, being able to be lost, get back into my photography where I used to spend 10 hours in the darkroom and come out like I was a drunken sailor because I was so hyper focused. So I think for people, validating yourself is key, because if you can't look in the acknowledgement, if you can't look in the mirror and say, good morning, I'm an artist, then the struggle is so much harder to let out your creativeness, your drive, your fire, your purpose, and your passion.
And what I see is separating our goals from what people think what we do should look like. As an actor, the first thing I'm asked is, what TV shows have you done, or what movies? That's not being an actor to me. I love theater. I love the art of standing on a stage and hearing the people breathe and crinkle paper and play on. I like that aspect because
but
I can see
actors always do that. They're not, you'll have a movie actor go to Broadway and they're panned completely because theater is a whole different skill set. It's a whole different feeling. And it often takes more to act in a theater than it does to be on a movie set and act in a movie with the redo and the take and the trailer.
You're only doing this one section.
One take.
You may even be doing just one part of a scene. You're not even doing the whole scene.
Correct.
Whereas in theater, you are starting the beginning of this play and you're going to finish it. No matter what happens between now and the end. Whatever happens, you got to make it to the end.
The show must go on. So there's a different pressure. So I think you have to validate yourself, but
separate that from what people think you should be or think about you. Period.
My weakness is criticism. When I'm dismissed or I can't. For me, the struggle for me as an artist, and why I had mentioned moving to Denver, is I've been a photographer since 1999. I've been in quite a few museums here locally in Baltimore. I can't get press to save my life. I can't. I advertise, and then every time that I've wanted to quit, I've had an amazing small circle of people, and I think I talked about it last time, that I had this moment that I talked to you about last time where I was sitting in my kitchen in an office chair crying and saying, this was March. This is February. I don't think I can be an artist anymore. I just can't. I need a corporate job. And I got an email. I'm like, who is emailing me during my my
I'm
crisis?
having a crisis. Leave me alone.
And it was an email that said, hello, Kafi. This is the Walters Art Museum. We would love to have you be a featured artist. And so when you get that validation, my mother asked me, do you feel like everything you've done came for that moment? Yes.
And it's the feeling of being an artist. It's constant levels of that validation because our job is never complete. because if you decide to just take pictures for the rest of your life, you're going to want to be in an art gallery. You're going to want to be featured in a magazine spread. You're going to want, so all those levels, it doesn't end there, because you still do one-on-one consultations, photography with people. You still do art installation projects, so there are different levels of it. So it's a constant.
But there's also this level of people who focus so much on their art and they only look up to step out and show their work. I think that's my personal goal, is to get back into my projects. I'm in a place right now where people have been asked, where are you? What are you doing? I have been sitting on my porch all summer long.
Living life.
Living on my porch.
Because the next time you pick up that camera is going to be an explosion of that experience that you've been able to have. Taking us to our next point, which will take us to our break, but being able to be engulfed in your art requires you to have a team to handle the business, the everyday of it. You can manage it, but if you're going to be engulfed in your art, you need a team. So my next bullet point from validation will be building a team. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here with Miss Coffee Den Blussy on the Artist Exchange. I just like saying it like that. On the Artist Exchange radio show on BeExposedRadio.com. Don't go anywhere. This lady is packed with knowledge and wisdom and quiet storm-esque personality. So come on back.
Come on back.
With Coffee Den Blussy.
Thank you.
I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show.
I'm just thankful this year I've dealt with, some growing pains, and I've overcome some things, and I've also, accomplished some things in the process. I've learned some things. I learned that everybody loves your work until they got to pay for it. That's what I learned. I learned everybody loves what you do.
The pay?
I mean,
not always.
Listen, the Bible says money answereth all things.
Well,
okay. And there is a place. There is a place where finances is necessary. And when you got kids and when you got a wife and then you doing everything and you top dog at what you do, especially when you weren't in the same place like with this radio show, you ain't in the same place you were a year ago. Should nobody be coming on the show and not donating to your show?
Can you say that on my show?
Should nobody be coming to your show?
Can you say that in the middle of the live?
Yeah, make that a promo, please.
Should nobody come on this show without donating?
Yes. Like
I don't care if it's $20.
Donate.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on Be Exposed Radio.
Only in the forest can you see this. And this. And this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
I didn't know it could do that!
Because one trip to the forest can spark a world of difference.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go, like hiking, canoeing, fishing, or camping. Or create your own adventure with family and friends, and you might just see this. Your moment's out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
That's discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
What are
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com. Joining us in the building is Miss Coffee D'Ambrosi.
Hi, everyone.
We are, see, there we go. We're talking about building an artist life. And we started with a conversation on validation and how we have to separate who we are from what people expect us to be and want us to be. And that moved us into building a team.
But can I go back
to
that?
Go ahead. You go ahead.
I think not everyone struggles with that. You know,
the validation.
Yeah, like, Coffee, I expect you to be this. I know who I am because I know who I am. I don't require that. I require it less and less. You know, so I've had conversations over this summer where, hi, thank you for being a person in my life. I no longer need, and I literally said, I no longer need your attention nor your validation. Now, if you'd like to go to the next level and step up and meet me where I'm at, not that you're beneath me, but we're in different places in our lives. When you're ready to meet me in an equal, even space, not where I need. Because sometimes there's a power balance in terms of relationships that we have with people, our business work, where you're in a place of need. And sometimes our need touches someone's soft spot or something that they need to fulfill. You often realize that when we go to a next level in our life of success or our relationship status changes, that certain people fall off because we no longer meet that need within them. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so I feel like in my life at this moment, the only person I'm really needing validation from is myself. You know,
some of us need to be reminded of that because it's not always somebody telling us who we should be and who they want us to be, but it's our perception of what we think pop culture is and what pop culture wants from us.
I think, I'm not, I feel like we're in two different age groups. So for me, pop culture is something I look at on an app. It's not really something that influenced me because I'm raising a child. I am caring for a family. You know, other people have other responsibilities. And so I feel none of those influences. Now, I do understand the influences and I understand the new paradigm of what it means in terms of social media, promoting yourself, validation. I know that for me to be validated as someone who's real, I have my LinkedIn profile, my Facebook profile, I have Twitter, I'm active. So in order for me to help someone in social media, I have to be active in social media. So from that point of view, I do understand that. But I think because I'm in a different place in my life, because I am, I think, 15 years older than you, I feel I'm in a different place.
I just look good for my age. I could be about 50.
But for me personally, it is, I'm the only person I'm fighting against, or the only thing that I'm trying to create or create change in is my own mindset, my own drive, my own fire, my own purpose, my own vision. And there are people who set the bar high. So I don't know. I think when you're really in your artist's mind, other people don't really matter.
Right.
When I was in the darkroom for 10 hours, shaking film, exposing, no pun intended. No one else mattered. No one mattered. Not one person mattered.
That's how you know you're where you're supposed to be. I've been here from 10 o'clock in the morning, sometimes to like 11 o'clock at night. And it's not that I don't notice time going by, but I like what I do. We've been in theater, like production, you're there till 1 o'clock in the morning sometimes. So that's how you know, like you complain because it's just naturally in you.
Right.
But you know you're not going to leave. You're not going to just wake up and leave, but you know you're in what you're in. And my excitement and my enthusiasm and the things that I put my name on, I then expect for other people to have that. And I know that's a trap that I often have walked into. But I just like, you not excited about being where you want to be?
That's how it was when I met you. I was like, you, who are you?
I'm always so happy to do. Like, I'm happy watching other people succeed in what they do.
It's very exciting.
And I get crushed.
It fulfills you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so working with other creative people who are sometimes doing way much better than I am, but being able to help them get to a next level, or, you know, they're reading the map and I'm able to turn the map right side up. I'm like, no, honey, you're holding the map wrong. Like, you got the map,
Right.
you know where you're going. Let's just change the perspective.
Right. And that's enlightenment that people get when they get that type of gratification. And I don't ever treat people as if they don't know anything. But like you said, like, baby, you just looking at this awkwardly, or you're looking at this from a perspective where your fears are, opposed to where your faith is. And once you change that perspective, things become easier. Life doesn't, like, the hurdles don't stop. You know, the rough patches don't clear up, but your perspective allows you to get through those things a lot more easier. And validation, to me, I've never sought outside acknowledgement until maybe a year ago, because I realized everybody who smiles with you isn't there for you, because sometimes people are there for their own reasons. So I just kept saying, but why am I in this relationship? Why am I in this relationship? And like you just said, some people wear out the welcome. I'm often a person who I don't know when to say, okay, it's time to go home, because I want to stay until we fix this.
It's the familiarity breeds contempt trap.
Yes.
You know, I'm working with it with my daughter. Like, I'm your mother. You can call me mom.
Or mom.
Or mom. Mama. You can all call me Coffee D'Ambrosi. She loves my name in her mouth, and I want to snatch it from her mouth.
I'm hearing somebody else's mother say that, because I used to call my mother by her first name.
I used to call my parents by their first name.
Yeah.
My mother stopped it early. My father let me call him Tony till I was 5. Then he was like, call me Dad. I was like, why? I know you're my father, Tony.
No, we struggle with that because he wants to say Umi, mommy, daddy. Because before my mother-in-law moved in, we would call each other mommy and daddy just to keep. But then she moved in, and so now first names need to be used. So he wants to use them. Kenya.
They love it.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here with Coffee D'Ambrosi when we return to the Artist Exchange radio show on BeExposedRadio.com.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange radio show on BeExposedRadio.com.
So, you know how you round people who really can sing, and they always like, I don't know if it's this time. That's what these well, at least these two over here are giving me right now. It's not the time, you know. It should be 78.5 degrees in here.
0.25.
So they're going to share a little bit, just a little taste, to get you interested, to get you tingling this morning.
Come on in here.
Share a little of that Banji soul with us.
Stand behind her.
Okay. Well, y'all singing y'all mic.
Yeah, y'all can sing.
Okay, so this is called What I Thought. It's also on the album.
Don't hold back.
Okay. Y'all ready? You ready, B? Okay. I see the lights pouring out your face. No, you can't hide. I see them clear as day. I'm growing tired of playing these games. You say I'm tripping. Well, get up on this plane now, 'cause I'm pulling out.
with you all night. Are you going crazy or too damn lazy? We ain't skipping through no daisies. This wasn't my fantasy. This ain't what I thought. And this ain't what I want.
I told y'all wasn't ready. The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artists, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Here live on BeExposedRadio.com. It's me, your host, Nate Couser, and my co-host,
Big Mama Amma.
There we go.
So, and we're talking to Cafe Ambrose. I'm sorry not to rush you, but she just told, and I have to say that I believe that there is something that is here with us that we can't always see. My son is two years old now. He's an only child. He spends all his time by himself.
Only.
So we're at the house. At our house, he plays by himself. No big deal. We went to visit my brother. He's in the room by himself because my brother and they're all gone to work. Everyone's at daycare and stuff. He's in the room talking to himself. I looked at my husband. I said, does he always do that? No. And I mean conversation. So I just tipped my head in the door. I said, whoever you are, he ain't got no authority. And I'm telling you right now, you can't come back with us. Conversation stopped after that.
I had brunch with my husband one morning, and our daughter, we're on the porch. So my daughter's to my right, my husband's to the left. And I said, say hi to Papa. She said, hi, Papa. And she said, hi, Michael. And I said, she was looking up. I said, who's that? She said, Michael, and was looking past her dad up. And I was like, excellent. Mm-hmm. My daughter is a creative. Mm-hmm. And we were discussing earlier the challenges of raising a free thinker because free thoughts come out of their mouth.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then you forget that you're a 40-something Black girl who was raised in a different era. And talking to your multiracial child who has several conflicting people groups in her. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I apologize to her. I'm like, Mama, sorry, you're Black and Italian and French,
right,
and Irish on both sides. Mama, sorry, but
you have to get it together.
You need to come into your right mind. But that's a lot of people group. That's a lot of genetics in one little body.
Yes.
She gets very frustrated. And in terms of validation, she definitely needs to be validated. I was talking to a grandmother.
And the foundation part of becoming an artist.
Is that validation? I had my daughter was teased at her mostly African-American school about being white, which she is not. And we had to go online to My Black is Beautiful. And I had to show her that we come in all different shapes and sizes and shades. And she cried and said, there I am. And so I think there comes a moment in our artist life or our creative life, and we can look and say, there I am. And that's the place where I'm trying to be on my porch. Like, you know what? I haven't done any editing. I haven't worked on any projects this summer. I haven't helped very few people I've helped, done consulting with. But I'm trying to ground my own self to explode for the next explosion or the next, because it's going to be big. I told someone, I'm like, I feel 72 months pregnant with some art. I feel very pregnant with art. And I'm trying to ground myself and prepare myself so that I can express myself. But that self-validation, we refer to it as radical self-love. Like, imagine if we radically loved ourselves. Where there is love, fear can't exist.
Right.
So if we can imagine what we would be and what we can create and what we can do when there's no room for shadows and for fear, and we're creating out of the creative space. We are the creative space.
Mm-hmm.
You know
The
what I mean?
education system in terms of on both pre-K, high school, and upper level education, they have to go back to that nurturing the potential. And I don't mean excusing my behavior, looking past my my faults, but what is nurturing and validating artists. I While you were just talking right now, I replayed an incident that I had as a college student where the head of our department exploded on a couple people in our class that I was in. And he came into the class because it was people that were coming late, wasn't doing, and in theater, you have to be on time. Everyone has to be. And he exploded, and I got so angry in that moment. One, because you wasted my time and I was here on time. But I then looked back to the whole era because at Coppin, we were all non-traditional. So everybody was coming in at different levels. We wasn't all 18 coming in and learning the process together. You had people with children. You had people with 2 full-time jobs. You had people who had never been in an educational system, just got a GED, and you let them in. All different levels, and for you to explode on people for having given circumstances was kind of retrogressive, if that's the word, regressive, and your approach. And I looked at that as some of us just need validation, that because we're about to go into a world that's going to tell us we're nothing. We're about to go into a world that's going to shrink us because of what they want. In their eyes, we should be.
The educational system is incredible because they create these boxes and then try to shove children in them.
Yes.
So my daughter sorry, I talk about her a lot, but she's my main point of reference.
Be sorry, right? Don't be sorry.
So she came home with her report card and she got satisfactory, excellent on a lot of things. There was a little note that said, does not play well with others. And I said, my darling.
I need to meet this little girl because she is who I am.
I said, my darling, you're an artist. You're not supposed to play well with others.
No, you're the radical one. You're the radical.
Not supposed to.
Yeah.
And I was thankful last year she had an artist teacher who nurtured her in terms of that. My daughter knows she's an artist. She does. I'm an artist.
She paints.
She paints. She sold her first painting for $4.
Nice.
We're preparing for an art show. She loves a big canvas. She said no to acrylics. She said, Mama, no, I need watercolor. I need to feel the paint.
I love her.
The acrylics are just too heavy. So she understands that she is an artist, and the life her and me and her father designed was that of a creative life. Art shows and growing up in my studio and having events and music and dance. And so nurturing that in people is what I feel like I'm able to do, is even meeting people on the street, what are you doing? There's a guy at my local market. And I'm like, do you have your license? Where are you going to school? What is your plan? You have 1 more year to work here. And he's like, yes, ma'am. Because he asked me my opinion. I said, you must get a car. You must. You must. And there's no reason, He said, I failed my test. I was like, do it again. And just being a cheerleader, because encouragement is key. And I have a friend who actually has a company called Encouragement is Key, and it really is. So not necessarily, I think validation is important, but that support, people who believe in you, is even greater than validation. It's that email from the Walters Art Museum. That wasn't validation. That felt like it was a form of validation, but it was from a person who's been in my corner for the past 4 years.
So it wasn't just out of the blue.
No, it's someone who put me in their master theses for their theses at MICA, and knew my work and found me and sought me out, loved my work. and then moved to the Walters Art Museum and presented my work before the board, and they loved it. And so it's that quiet, it's the support where people say, I believe in you. And at every art show that I've ever had, truthfully, for me, it's always about one person or meeting or one encounter.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first came back to art in 2010, you should have seen me. I felt very awkward. I had, the French braid, and I was nervous. I was in a dress. I had a baby 2 years before. I was still recovering. And I met this woman, and she said, "Who do you want to be?" And I said, "I want to be the female Gordon Parks." And she said, "Funny you should say that. Gordon Parks was a great friend of mine." She was middle-aged. She was a reporter for a small town paper. Wrote him, said, "I would like to meet you and interview you." He said, "Come to New York." She got on a bus, had bus fare up and bus fare down, no money for food, no money to sleep over. She went to, she interviewed him. He bought her food. She interviewed him for 3 days.
Wow.
And they became amazing friends. So even at his last art show in DC, she was there. And she said to me, "I believe in you." She gave me a copy of his book as a Christmas present one year. She gave me a photo that she took of him while she was there with him attending his thing. And it's those people. And it's not validation, it's belief.
Support.
The support when someone says, "I believe in you." Now, it gets a little tricky if you're in therapy and your therapist thinks that you're going to be a superstar too. I'm like, we can't be both delusional and I'm a superstar. One of us has to be based in reality.
Somebody's got to think
we
straight.
can't both be dreaming that, I'm
paying
going
you
to
to
thank
shit,
you
this
from
is
the
right.
stage.
But if somebody sees it in you, it's not an issue of saying it. I mean, if it's the delusion, like, I want to be the Empress of Madagascar, and you agreeing with, like, yeah, you can be that. That's disillusion. But because it's all about levels of what success is. And superstar to you may mean something different to that
My
therapist.
friend told me the other day, they said, "Cuffy, you're a celebrity." I'm like, I'm not celebrity. I'm just the poorest rich person I know. I have a team. I have resources. I have everything at my fingertips.
Which will take us back
segue.
on track to building a team.
Yes.
And building a team isn't just the people that work with you. And going back to the validation and tying it into what we just finished talking about is looking at validation as a support to that person that don't know, that you love, that you may not love so much, but it's just support. Remembering if something comes across your desk and you like, I think this is good for Amma. And you give that person Amma's name and you say that to them, it's support. Now I have to tell her, I don't have to, is this support? Is this a quiet support? Or however you may choose to do it, look at validation as a support system, not as let me just give you this. Let me hand this.
I'm the big validator in terms of that, because that is what I do for creatives. So, for example, there's an amazing vintage store, bespoke vintage store in Towson, run by an amazing man called Devlin Waddell, and the store is called Not You Vintage.
Yes.
And so we're putting a package together where you can get a photo shoot and styling all in one.
Nice.
And he's someone I believe in. You've
seen a lot of his pictures online.
Correct. Yeah, you've seen, and some of the pictures that he's shown are my pictures, my images. And I feel like when I meet creatives that are passionate about what they do, I always feel like I'm connecting. So then I have a new client, wants a photo shoot. We're going to do it at Not You Vintage. Or, I work with my own Amma Brown, my own Amma Chandra Brown. And
two people think are the same person.
They're not. It's okay. You guys need to do a picture together.
Yes.
You guys have to meet her. Mama, because we do call her Mama Alma also.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. But I'm Chandra. You need to have her on Be Exposed Radio.
We've had her here. I think people said when she was here. No, she wasn't here. Yeah.
That's the problem.
It was before she got here, actually. Yeah.
It was before my time.
So with Amma, I've been working with Amma for years in terms of outreach and direction. I've been her stylist. I've been her personal assistant. I've been her photographer, done a little bit of management. And so I think when people recognize who you are, even before you want to recognize it, that's an incredible thing, And so Gordon Park's friend Ellie believed in me when I, had a mini art show in Harvard de Grace in a corner in back of the gallery. I was very nervous.
Hold on, we're going to take that break for a second. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com with Coffee D'Ambrosi.
So silly.
Hey everybody, it's Monny, the executive producer here at BeExposedRadio.com, and I'm here to talk about my show. I know, how selfish, right? Talk Lately with me, Monny, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. So what do we talk about on this show? I can tell you this, there has never been a show that I have gotten completely through the full agenda because our topics, our conversations are just that damn good. I cover politics, gossip, entertainment, and hey, I love a good panel discussion. Hey, get a group of people in here and let us debate it out. That is the best thing in the world. Not to mention, I take calls and texts, and I'll debate with you too. So why don't you get involved and be heard? What's that old adage? Closed mouths don't get fed. That says it all. So join me every Tuesday at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com. Call me at 410-702-5657. You can text at 443-642-9403. And don't forget to be heard and vote in our weekly poll right on the website. Check it out.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back. Welcome. Ooh, those high divers were a mess. But welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com. For the month of September, we'll be doing a series on these questions that I am bringing up to Coffee D'Ambrosi on the Artist Exchange. It's very important to me to
help him, Amma.
He's a mess.
I am. To get to the bottom of a lot of the fears and hesitations and roadblocks that we create in our head and that are actually in existence in front of us. So we started with validation and we merged over to building a team, and it's a support system. The people who share your work that are just friends, and they share your stuff on social media. They come to your events. They tell people about you. They're always bragging about you. That's one part of your support system. The people that you pick to be your PR person, your co-host, your so on and so forth. Those people that come together and
To help
support
you
your
do the work.
mission. That themselves want to be. Like, you cannot pick people who are that other support group to be on your team. Have people who specialize in what they do.
So do you say
to be a part of your team?
Do you say you should wait until someone approaches you, because that's obviously someone who wants to work with you
versus seeking them out?
I've gone to someone and said, I would like you to be my business mentor, and they were. And I knew how much they were worth. This is someone who should be getting $100 an hour for consulting. I sought him out. I discussed last time about the ask. And so I asked to work with specific people. My best team member was a photographer named Tiffany Jones. She is my little
Tiffany.
She's my little superstar.
She did the barbershop series.
Oh yeah.
Tiffany Jones was a student at Micah and called what's it called? Oh God, where did I used to work? It's now the Motor House.
Oh, I remember.
Load of Fun. I used to run the Load of Fun building.
Ooh.
And she had called all the artists in the building looking for an internship. And so I was the last woman standing, and she said, I'm a photographer. I said, well, I do run Load of Fun and I run the events, but I'm also a photographer and I have a studio. I'm opening up a studio. Would you be interested? She pursued me because there's one part of my mind that is sharp as a tack. Like, again, I said, I can run your 500 person event. I can do this, that. When it comes to myself, I'm very scattered at times. But she was persistent. She met with me. We talked for 2 hours. She wrote down everything I said and then created a plan. I think my last show that she had arranged for me, or not my last show, but one of our events, there came a moment where I always tell her where the student became the master, because what she looked at me, and there's a picture of us and we are both looking at each other, mirror images with our fingers up. And I'm like, I need this. And she said, I need you to go put on the mascara I bought for you and go mingle with the people. I have everything else in control. I was like,
I love Tiffany.
I bow down to you. So she's my superstar. You know what I mean? And no one has ever come close to, replacing what she did. I was my most active. And so for me, I know that next time I have an assistant, number one, she was a photographer. Number two, she was a mother. Number three, she wasn't 17.
Right.
That was huge. And then she learned how to mirror me, and she learned from me about how I organize, what's needed, all of the details. And so at a certain point, she was able to support me. I was no longer teaching her, she was supporting me. And so creating a team member is one way of doing it. Number two, I always learn from people who are way better at what they do than I can ever imagine. And so my business mentor, I had the best intern ever from Micah. And for me, because I am a solo photographer, I don't need a team per se. But what I do have is resources. Again, my friend telling me I'm a celebrity. It's like, no, I'm just a poor rich person. But I do have someone who will come to my house and do my hair, do my nails. Someone will come cook for me. I do have someone who would love to be my personal assistant. I do have people who subcontract with my business if I need to send out a photographer. People who will second shoot with me. So I technically do have a team. It's just not always activated like a regular business. And so if I'm doing an event or catering, I have a specific group of people that I work with. Hi, I need you to do this. People who I can trust to do. There's one person, my best friend, Rebecca Canino, who I grew up with, who basically I could tell her anything and she would do it. That's one. I have another friend, Katie, who is one of those amazing people who, when you are weak, she is strong. And so at my daughter's birthday party, I just had a little meltdown because for me, it is easier to do a huge event, business binders, the presentations, than to do a child's birthday party. It stuns me. I don't know what my blockage is. I don't know if it's because I'm an only child.
Kids are scary.
I had a meltdown and she said, "What do you need?" I'm like, "I think I need food for the kids and candy." And I don't know. My friend came and did my child's party for me. Oh. So knowing that you have those kind of people. So because I'm just one person, I do have several businesses, but you know, day to day, I can manage everything. Anything bigger, I do have access to a team and I do have resources. So number one, people who know what your vision is and understand it, or who are excited by it, who can dial into it. They don't have to understand the whole thing or understand why you obsess about mounting tape and shades of white, but they can get down with the vision.
And we're going to go to a quick break, pay some bills. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show with Coffee, D'Ambrosio.
You're struggling with your mortgage. You think about it. You don't do anything but think about it.
What are we going to do if we lose the house? Where are we going to go?
At work.
I can't let anybody find out. I'm so embarrassed.
At dinner.
How can I tell the kids? It's going to wreck their lives.
And at 3:00 in the morning.
I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get through this. What's going to happen to us?
It's time to stop thinking. It's time to start dialing. Call 1-888-995-HOPE for a free government program that offers expert one-on-one advice about your mortgage options.
I'm all alone.
No, you're not. We've helped over 1 million homeowners, and we want to help you. And now there are more ways to help. Call 1-888-995-HOPE or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
Check out this flashback on Gangsta Goddess Radio Show.
We know how you came about. We have write-ups and so forth. And the people that come after that, okay, yes, I inspired you, so acknowledge it.
Right.
When
And
you do a, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, it's a little more difficult for the natural born raw artist. Okay. And the academic artists, they know a lot more than us natural born raw artists. So they could easily get in spots and galleries and newspapers and magazines and everything, where I'm not in the academic part of the artist scene. I'm just a natural born chick doing my thing. And when the academic ones are able to form groups to identical to the group that I have, and I see them getting all these opportunities, I'm bothered. I'm really bothered. So we are not the Balti Girls. BALTIGURLS. That's not me. Look for Baltimore Girls by Safiatu. That's what you want to look for, blazing through the city in these next spring and summer 2016. The Baltimore Girls. Straight like that.
For this and more, be sure to tune in to Gangsta Goddess Radio Show every Tuesday from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
So, Jacqueline. Yes, Mom? I wanted to talk to you about something and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey guys, check out my new video game. Wait, Mom, what? Huh?
What? Hold
What'd you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Free stuff for you just for listening to this station. Yo, we got your attention? Here's how it works. You click on the radio loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then you keep on listening like you already do. But now you earn points. Those points add up, and you can trade them in for cool stuff in the radio loyalty store. Earn more points by sharing your station with friends on Facebook and Twitter, answering surveys, and by using the apps in the New Players App Store. Pretty simple. Free stuff just for doing what you already do. Radio loyalty. Click the banner to join now.
Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
The name is personal to me. It is actually the name of Whoopi Goldberg in the movie The Telephone. So that's where I got the name from. And my jewelry company initially was Shirley Marie Jewelry.
Why?
But I kind of got a lump in my throat every time I would say, because that's my grandmother, my great grandmother's name.
That makes sense.
So in me talking about my company, when I would do like big events, I would start crying when I would say it, and I was like, "Oh, gotta change that because that's not professional." So that's how we became the name of the jewelry company, and I think I've did a pretty good job of letting people know what it is. So much so that people thought it was my name.
Yes.
So
I'd only met you the first time we met was at Kyle's.
Oh yeah.
And so then next time I saw you was on Facebook, and it was like, he introduced himself as Vashti. Is that? Not the same person.
I thought you had an alter ego. I was like, I need to. So maybe we'll work on. Maybe we'll.
Most people have.
Because okay, we'll have. No, we're gonna have an off the record discussion.
That's consulting time.
Yeah. So as far as building a team, there are different aspects. Some of your team members are part-time, on call, full-time. It all depends on who you are and what you're doing, and building that team is what I'm learning now. Because for me, my best friend, and I've never used that word ever in life, but my best friend, Jana Holmes now, is the person that whenever I start something new, she's that person I call to start with me.
Right.
And starting a radio show, she was here and she slowly moved over. One, because I just have an alpha personality and it's hard for me to really, not so much work with other people, but my idea is strong in what I want to do.
So for me, in terms of how I operate, we call it like the inner circle.
Yeah.
So there are people who work for me who I hire out. So there's the work team, the creative team, but there is an inner consultant circle of creatives that I work with. One, my friend has a translating company. She's also a cultural consultant for different corporations and private operations. So a lot of business things I discuss with her. She wants to put me on YouTube for some reason. She's like, be on YouTube. Why?
Because people need to see.
People want to see me.
The full spectrum of
I
who
have
Poppy is.
My beloved Janice B, who is a singer and a creative and intuitive healer. And she called me one day and said, I really want you to focus on your food, whatever you're doing with food. I'm like, I'm sitting here doing my first solo catering gig, like a meal brunch for 8. I'm sitting here cooking Thai curry chicken right this second. She's like, I knew it.
I was about to say your profile picture on Facebook looks like you're about to do a cooking show. I was just about to say that.
So a friend of mine got cancer years ago, and she just passed away Tuesday. I'm a little weepy, and so she's one of the first. She did my first photo shoot ever. So the first photos I was ever in professionally were done by her. It was a weekend where me and my best friend Rebecca Canino went and we talked about my first love. I fell in love with a boy and I was 17, and we cried and ate chocolate. And she was always an artist, an amazing illustrator. And so I would go to her house and cook for her and spend the afternoon with her, and we'd dish and gossip and talk about Maine and Maryland. But she was a photographer first before she was an illustrator, or both at the same time. And so she would take my picture every time I had lunch. So there's hardly any pictures of us together because I would take pictures of her, and she would always take pictures of me cooking in her kitchen. And so I think that was the second image. And she did a whole series. We call them Lunch with Laurel, but it's always me doing a show. And so my friend Janice is like, you must do a show. And I'm like, my kitchen is not conducive. And,
right.
You know, but
get a set designer. Get it.
Yes. So the inner circle often like pushes you to things. Like I was talking to my friend Alma today. She's like, I'd like to buy a house in a year. I'm like, you can buy a house in 60 days and get out of this. Your lease ends in October. You could be in a house that fulfills all your needs if you want to. I'm just saying. She's like, Kafi, this is why you exist. And so that's what I feel. I feel like part of the consultant and with creatives is telling people what can exist. You know,
seeing what their dreams are and being able
exactly.
to
And the one way I do that is I always tell them, what does your dream lifestyle look like? Start with that, put that at the top of your list. And then from there, we're going to write down each step to get to there. We're going to figure out how much money you need for the lifestyle, not money is my dream. Money is not the dream. It's the ability to make choices and decisions and have options. And so we say, what does it look like? Do you want to live in Hawaii and work remotely? Do you want to spend a summer? And there are a lot of new companies creating these opportunities for people who wander or have remote jobs to live in different countries. Like you have to pay them, but they arrange it so you can remotely work in their It's a new thing. It's amazing. They're like,
what
no
sectors
children
are
yet.
there in?
It's not the sector. It's are you exciting enough? Do you look good? Because they're marketing themselves. So it's almost a co-brand, but you pay them a fee and they set you up with a house and a car, your insurance, and they give you these amazing places to stay. So it's like,
there's a movie about that.
It's almost like Airbnb for.
There's a movie about a family that got moved into a house, and they were all given a backstory, and they were all supposed to live like they own this stuff, like they own this TV and stuff, and they were supposed to. Sorry, I can't remember the name of it. I know that David Duchovny was in it. David Duchovny and I can't remember the woman, the guy who plays Is it David Duchovny? I think it's David Duchovny. Anyway, whatever. So they moved. It's called The Joneses. That's what it's called. Keeping Up with the Joneses. And they were the Joneses, and they moved into a neighborhood of upper middle class people. And then they started showing up with all these new gadgets and gizmos that this company that hired them gave them. And they were supposed to drive the neighbors to want to spend more money and buy more things. It's a very interesting concept. Very powerful.
I'm gonna have to look that one up. That
yes, it's worth
watching.
watching.
I would want to be the Joneses. We are moving towards measuring success. So building a team. So finishing up with building a team. It is what you need. The things that you need. So matching yourself up with individuals who will tell you the truth, who will be supportive, who will balance you out and help you build those bridges in life. I love to look at you and just say, I know what works for you. You know, I can see certain things because of the things that I fell victim to, or not victim to, but shortcomings that I had. I always wanted people to see in me what I had envisioned in my mind, because validation, going back to validation, and coming from church, I can't give you a blessing that you haven't already heard about on your own for yourself. So I like seeing those things and see people light up. I had a dream one time. This young man, Dante Painter, he was a young guy that hung around Arena Players a lot. He was a youth theater. And I had a dream about him one day that he was a painter, and he came to me to help him put together this curated installation.
Wow.
His installation, help him curate installation idea he had. And I said it to him. And I hate when I have those feelings, but I said it to him, and he was like, man, how you know? Like, he was an actor. So he was like, you know what? I've been thinking about getting into painting. And he said, I hadn't even told anybody. And I knew where it came from, but I like being that person or seeing it happen to somebody else from somebody else. When you awaken something in somebody or you tap into something that's been on their conscience and they don't understand how you saw it and you don't understand how you saw it, but it awakens something in them. That's why I love working around young guys, because guys keep it in here and they never really share things. So when they meet people who are those open armed, supportive people, they really make a big change because it is validation within them. But our next step into this, from validation to building a team, is measuring your success. So what does success mean to you? She just gave a prime example. Money isn't and should not be a goal, but it should be a vehicle to making decisions in your life, positive decisions. And it's almost like the fuel. It's not the car itself, but it's the fuel that keeps the car moving.
I know it sounds simple, but my current idea of success is having my bills on auto pay without my financial life.
Without having to think about it, and you know it's good.
Going to the market on Wednesday because it's Wednesday, not because the check cleared on Wednesday.
We have so many of us have survival skills on how to hustle, where to cash the check when your bank account is negative. Like I know how to live fully poor. I know how to live a rich life. I know how to struggle when, you got to babysit for the crazy people in Roland Park, and then you got to go do a photo shoot, and then you're like, this money I know how to survive, but where my mindset is changing to, which is success for me, is to go from the hustle. Some people do the hustle good. I'm not a good hustler.
It's supposed to be temporary. A hustle is supposed to be temporary.
I'm not a good hustler. You know what I am? I'm learning to live in abundance and create from abundance and create peace.
Right.
And so I was at a workshop at Serenity Spa off of Harford Road, and they gave us a guided meditation, and they said, I want you, your current self, to go to the future and meet your future self and let me know what it looks like, where they're living.
Say that again.
So the guided meditation said, close your eyes, imagine you yourself are going to meet your future self. What do they look like? Where do they live? What are they wearing? What is their story? And so I wrote a piece about it, about how I went to a house on a hill. There was fragrant smoke coming out of the chimney, and the woman looked like me, but she was older, and she had gray in her hair, and she had silver locks, and she wore beautiful blue earrings, and I felt like our soul was in the earrings. And she had a beautiful soft tunic on, and she had delicate leather shoes where it seemed that where joy and appreciation had to be in her every step, and I said to her, who are we? And my future self said, we are everything you imagine us to be, which is peace and love and refuge for yourself and for your others. And so my idea of success is creating peace and refuge for people at the same time as encouraging them and putting the fire in them. And so having that as my life goal and my life work, that's success. So the financial success is auto pay.
I just want to let you know I'm still in that question. And I'm going to ask every person I ever meet to do that whenever I have a moment to sit
It
down.
was very intense. And I even went on to, say like, there was warmth in the room. It wasn't coming from the fire, but it was in the art, and every piece of art seemed like an adventure. And she sat relaxed in her couch, and there was a Peruvian blanket on the side of her couch. And I knew that she didn't buy it at the Saturday market. So in Latin American countries, there's often Saturday market. I said, I knew that she climbed a mountain to meet the maker and had tea and touched that person's heart. Like I knew that in my soul, you know.
So have you asked yourself the question outside of that being asked to you? And if so, did it change? Did it get altered? Did experience take that story on another path?
I felt like in that experience, there was a moment where it said, the path from you to me is difficult, but it's not without laughter. And the end is so much better than the beginning. And so I think hope is a huge key, especially with artists. We're very sensitive. We're extremely sensitive. Like I'm just even acknowledging how sensitive I am. Like if a fellow photographer, I've been fired by a photographer. It devastated me for 2 years. Like I quit I don't do wedding photography anymore. I love them. They hate me. Like I don't do it anymore. But that hope that you have that you can touch someone's life, to me, that's success. And for me, as my worldview shifts and change after having a child, after having the near-death experience of having her early, having a premature baby, nearly going blind, your perception changes, literally. And in my perception, success is measured by the amount of peace I can create in my home, the amount of love I can create in my home. The auto pay is a great financial. I have my happy number. Freedom. I know what my happy number is because they say after a certain point, your happiness doesn't increase. I know my financial freedom number where I'm working a 40-hour job is a certain amount. The next amount is me being an entrepreneur. It's a certain amount, but it's not crazy. It's not millions of dollars.
So we're going to close this segment out, and a quote that I use to attach to my RL event: success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life as by the obstacles which has overcome, which they have overcome while trying to succeed. That's a quote by Booker T. Washington.
Then I'm very successful.
Yes, right. But how you react is all about how you react and how you get back up. So we're going to take another quick break as I get myself together, because I start seeing that path open up for me and who that person future self would be. So we're going to come back, and me and Alma are going to ask that question, and Miss Coffee is going to ask us that question, and we're going to answer it when we come back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
It doesn't say alleged anywhere in here.
This is the wrong song to play in this topic.
They're saying 4 years ago, according to a $20 million lawsuit, the plaintiff, who was also not named, met Charlie Sheen in Las Vegas on April the 1st, 2011. The sleaze suit claimed that Sheen entered into a nefarious plot designed to lure plaintiffs into a luxurious hotel room to serve his prurient desires. Sensationally, it was alleged that Sheen... Say what?
I said perverted.
No, it's
Let me see. Can I where's a point to the word? Right. Prurient.
It's hard. It makes me want to gag. Like cock. Get it? Sensationally, it was alleged Sheen told the man he had no venereal diseases. At that point, they watched the porn and engaged in mutual oral compilation, mutual self-gratification, rubbing and massaging each other, play wrestling, licking, and unprotected intercourse. So, look, my question to my three people here in my panel, are they trying to say, because that's when they said he got this disease 4 years ago, or virus, HIV, 4 years ago. Are they trying to say that he got it from gay sex?
Probably.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
That's what it's saying. Consensus of the room is
Not all the female prostitutes that he was doing. It was the guy.
just they interjected just one guy in there.
You know what that is? That's Sheen having a very good publicist. That's
Yeah,
what that is.
partly, but partly this is the guy.
That's the best story you could go out with.
Yeah, right. This is the
Free stuff for you just for listening to this station. Yeah, we got your attention? Here's how it works. You click on the radio loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then you keep on listening like you already do. But now you earn points. Those points add up, and you can trade them in for cool stuff in the radio loyalty store. Earn more points by sharing your station with friends on Facebook and Twitter, answering surveys, and by using the apps in the New Players App Store. Pretty simple. Free stuff just for doing what you already do. Radio loyalty. Click the banner to join now.
Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Yes. I like that. That works.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I like that.
What do I want for myself?
Do you need to know how to make this food? I can do that. And that's basically what a concierge does. They know where everything is. They know where.
That is, I think that's who I really am. Like if you presented me a problem, you're like, I need the following items tonight, and I would give you a list of the needs.
That's why in the beginning of this conversation, it was hard for me to say a title for you because it really
because we don't know. I'm still discovering
coach.
it.
But concierge is a definitely. I see that in some sexy golden scribble.
Yes.
Yeah. The concierge. And that's it. That's all you see.
That's all I want to do.
That's all you see.
I want a black business card with silver and my name.
I just see you in gold though. Gold or copper, like a rust.
Yeah.
Copper. But it has to be a sexy, and that last letter just has to just linger on
forever.
Oh, see?
Calligraphy.
And you know how you can put the aluminum on the card now?
That was one of the things I would say to myself the other day. I wish I had continued to practice. Yes. Because calligraphers make a lot of money, especially with the wedding business. I'm mad that I didn't know that because I was really pink.
And you can take a class.
Yeah, you can take a class.
Most what I was about to say, not undergrad, but junior colleges offer calligraphy. I think Micah has a calligraphy class. Of course, they have one, but they have a couple classes. That's all I'm in there.
Micah.
For
what?
Because they're Googling her. They need that retention. Everybody retention rate. But I mean, your name is beautiful.
You just want concierge.
The concierge.
The concierge.
Yes. And then we can just line the back of that card with everything. But just the concierge. The little thug, you know how you put the thug, as an insignificant member, but concierge. And then just go to the end of the card with that air.
All right, I just took my own picture. That looks like you took it.
Which one?
Gold, please.
She's funny.
But this is the basis of our conversation because it's really me. Everybody was telling me what I needed to do. We had a young lady that was good at branding and marketing. She would come here, and then I met you, and then this person, that person, and it becomes overwhelming in what you do. Oh, that does look nice.
Who that is?
I wish I had shaved because mine would look so much prettier. Sexy anyway.
I love beard life now. My next man, my dream man, has a beard and tattoos.
Tats I love.
What would your single ad say? Like the ad, I was like, it would not be good. I'm like, I love Jesus and sangria, hot sex, and church attendance.
Yes,
but somebody fits that.
Sex.
There are quite a few guys that fit that life.
Good kisser, frequent flyer miles, tattoos and dogs. Beard, tattoos,
They may
dogs.
not necessarily be all black, but they're out there.
Black? Oh no, I'm an equal opportunity.
Yeah. I had a couple names that
for a while.
She's silly.
I've heard it said like that before, and that is quite.
I never.
Yes. That's not. Are we on air? Don't ever do that again. Hey, welcome back. It just started. No, it just started. Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. We're here on this Friday, and I love me some coffee.
Yes,
the Ambrosi.
Some
when I
people
first
call
met
it
this,
coffee in the morning.
oh, maybe in the late night,
A dose of coffee.
Dose of coffee.
when I
yes.
first met her, I have issues with people being in my space. I really do. But I take it. I really take it because I know it's a me issue. It's not a you issue. And you were really in my space.
I wanted to eat you with a spoon.
She is really
I wanted to nibble on your
courageous.
cheek.
Tracy is laughing because she lived with me, so she knows this about me. So she's behind coffee laughing because she knows.
You're like,
how I'm pushing on it.
And I am intuitive. I knew you were uncomfortable, but I didn't care. I was like,
we were standing.
She sounds like me. Yes. Oh, I can feel all
But
your
I
angst
deal
issues.
with it. I really deal with it in terms of how it affects other people. But we don't have time today, but we're going to answer that question. I'm going to force Alma to answer that question tomorrow.
Yes. Give me a
but I
night to
want to
think
know
about
where
it.
we can find Miss Coffee on social media. How can we reach out to her and touch
You
her?
can
And
tweet me at Studio Coffee, Studio KAFI. I am on Facebook at Studio Coffee Photography.
There we go.
And then my name is Coffee D'Ambrosi. Next time I'm on, I'll be activating my blog and I'll have more juicy tidbits for you in terms of my brand.
I can't wait.
Yes.
The concierge.
The concierge.
There we go. I like to see it in aluminum writing, maybe a little embossed so you can feel it.
Of course.
You can touch it.
I love a heavy paper. I love a 30-pound paper.
Yeah, no, I really like embossed.
50 pounds. I'm yours for life.
I have enjoyed this. I enjoy certain individuals only because I'm a person who like to make people feel comfortable. So when I find that person, it is very refreshing because I don't have to work as hard. But I really enjoy having you on. Man, I'm a talked so much about you the first time you came on with Kim.
We
Kim
still
from
have
UB.
to have that dinner.
We're having our dinner. I love being here. I love talking about art, artist living, artist life, how we can help each other, but more importantly, help ourselves and be healthy for ourselves.
I just had an idea. I hope you like it. We're going to talk about it after the show. So thank you again, Coffee.
Thank you for having
coming
me.
by and saving the
Nate.
Artist Exchange on this
Big
12th
Mama
of
Alma.
August.
Yes.
I really enjoy this. I want you to come back. I'm going to ask the art of asking.
Oh,
You throw it back.
you threw
There
it back
you
at
go.
me.
Throw it back. So we're going to talk about some possible connections with Miss Coffee D'Ambrosi and partnerships in the near future. And I really did enjoy the day because it was something I wanted to get out for a minute. And sometimes in the heat of confusion, things
Peace
happen.
comes out.
Peace
and
comes out.
refuge
My
and
new
beauty.
my new profile picture is Teach Peace. It's something that I really, you have to do that. And young people, old people, crazy people, sane people, you have to teach peace and be that example at all times. Thank you for joining the Artist
you for
Exchange
having
Radio
me.
Show. Thank you again.
Love you guys.
Don't forget to go, if you missed this episode, go back to YouTube and watch the entire thing over again and watch the crazy that is the three artists that you see in front of you right now. Joining us after this show, following this show is It Is What It Is radio show. They have an awesome group of individuals and they about to pile it on real quick. So thank you again. You'll see us tomorrow. Hear us tomorrow, 12 o'clock p.m. here live on BeExposedRadio.com. Thank you all. It's been great. Peace out. Peace. You better take our show.
Are you thinking about getting your GED diploma? Well, here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a number of pep talks that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.